Trump is like, how are you qualified to be president?
Because I'm good, okay? I'm so good. I know how to do it, okay? Okay.
And Hillary...
Ever wondered what would happen if someone roasted Donald Trump so perfectly his hairline backed out in protest? Well, Dana Carvey just did exactly that, and the aftermath is pure comedy gold. Imagine a takedown so savage it made Mar-a-Lago look like a crime scene. Trump didn't just lose his cool, he completely unraveled. So what exactly did Carvey say that sparked the meltdown of the year? Stick around because this impression didn't just hit home, it turned into a full-on Trump disaster you've got to see to believe.
People were talking, Curtis, okay?
Now, I do him very feminine, I don't know why.
Well, yeah, a little bit of lotion, a little bit of chapstick.
Imagine him getting a manicure.
Okay, just go easy. Little hands, little tiny hands.
Yeah.
I'm not tiny down there.
Yeah.
What happens when a Saturday Night Live icon drops a comedic bomb on Trump? Apparently, you get a full-on ego explosion big enough to shake the RTOR scale. That's exactly what went down when Dana Carvey, the legendary church lady, delivered a savage and ridiculously spot-on impression that sent shockwaves ripping through the golden golf carts of Mar-a-Lago and echoed far beyond.
Has said recently that he thinks Trump is going woke. That's his angle.
I heard that because of the Disney thing. And Trump woke because he always goes at 10, right? He's just going to go at it more than anyone. I'm woke like you wouldn't believe. I'm telling you, what's happening to these trans women athletes is quite frankly a disgrace. They should be allowed to compete with the girls and get in there. But people say, no, you can't do that.
People say no?
Excuse me. And I don't care if they're 6'3" with their hands and feet are like giant flippers. You got to put them in the pool.
They got feet like kangaroos.
It looks like they're wearing jet skis when they're walking around. These are 4-footers.
Push them in the pool.
Put them in the pool.
Picture this, a caricature of Trump so scarily accurate and ruthlessly sharp it didn't just mimic him, it carved into his ego like a Thanksgiving turkey sliced with a blade of sarcasm and truth. Dana Carvey, best known for his legendary take on George H.W. Bush, decided to veer off the presidential path and dive headfirst into Trump territory, and wow, he came in swinging. Appearing on a podcast armed with his trademark laid-back insanity and razor-sharp wit, Carvey delivered a version of Trump that was part parody, part psychological deep dive, and 100% devastating. It wasn't just funny, it was a full-blown comedic autopsy of the Trump persona.
Trump is the impression of the year.
Right.
You're one of the great impressionists. How are you going to evolve this Trump impression?
I don't
what do you
know
think's going to happen with it?
I don't know what to do with it. I don't know where it's going. I keep discovering hooks.
I could promise you that, I could tell you that. They're friends of mine, okay?
I figure if he starts World War III, we'll be in our bunkers. He'll still be selling us on closed-circuit TV.
You know, we had a fabulous nuclear war. It was fabulous. Let me tell you that. Tremendous nuclear war. Your bunkers are terrific. Your bunkers are fabulous. The Chinese bunkers are a disaster. A disaster. Okay.
He nailed everything: the rhythm, the chaotic confidence, the rambling nonsense that somehow always loops back to everybody loves me, I'm the greatest. With lines like they say, I'm the best, frankly better than Lincoln, many people don't know that Carvey didn't just imitate Trump, he channeled him. You could practically smell the bronzer, the hairspray, and the ever-present waft of Diet Coke fizzing in the background. It was so real, so exaggeratedly authentic that for a second, you'd swear the real Trump was in the room trying to one-up himself.
Trump, you've obviously...
Everyone's doing it.
Everyone's doing Trump. And the thing is, you like to find the rhythm of the guy and the little ticks
The
that
little,
they have.
many people, many people, many people, you're gonna be happy, you're gonna be happy, like, you know, happy. You're gonna be, many people, you're gonna be happy, I know a lot of happy.
It's a symphony of madness, aren't you?
If you're enjoying this ride, make sure to subscribe right now. Normally, Trump shrugs off these kinds of jabs, at least in public. But this one struck a nerve hard. According to insiders from the Florida fortress of fragile feelings, Trump wasn't just irritated, he was completely unhinged. One aide reportedly overheard him storming around, muttering something like, Dana, who washed up, never funny, total loser, so sad. which is hilarious coming from a man who once proudly tried to sell frozen steaks at Sharper Image next to massage chairs and novelty gadgets. The irony was almost too perfect, like a joke that writes itself in gold-plated Sharpie.
Announcement is so funny to me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'm going to be saying something very soon. We're going to say it, and we're going to do it, and we want to do it, and we're going to say things like you wouldn't believe. And many people say they don't want to see it, they don't like that, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it.
And here's the wild part. This wasn't just some throwaway gag squeezed into a late-night monologue or casually dropped during talk show banter. Dana Carvey didn't just imitate Trump, he absolutely obliterated him. This was comedy with a mission. It was strategic, calculated, and aimed with the precision of a heat-seeking satire missile wrapped in an orange-tinted, ego-inflated costume. Carvey zoomed in on every strange quirk and exaggerated tick of Trump's personality with the delicate chaos of a comedic bomb technician. But instead of diffusing the madness, he blew it sky high into hilarious oblivion. From the constant self-praise to the hyperactive detours in his train of thought, it was like, we're talking tariffs. But did you know I got more votes than anyone who wears red ties ever? Carvey had it all down cold. It felt like watching a mirror that clapped back with insults, but way funnier and thankfully far less orange. The bravado was mocked, the victim complex roasted, and TikTok creators jumped in like sharks at feeding time. They made split-screen parodies lip-synced over Carvey's voice and wore hideous suits with tanning bed glow. It was like Gen Z had been handed the ultimate comedy weapon, and they set it off right in the comment section with zero chill and maximum laughter.
Spent the year trying to figure out the appeal of Donald Trump. And, he's a blunt force instrument. So, like, if your cause was global warming and you're going to the conference, who would you rather have with you than Donald Trump? Because he'd be like,
you're stupid countries, okay? You're very, very stupid, okay? You're spewing all this stuff in the air. The earth's getting hot. The grass is getting hot. Ouch, 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 ouch. I will be so good with global warming. I'll solve global warming. I'll make CO2 pay for it. I can promise you that. I know how to make glaciers, okay, Matt? I can make...
What made this takedown so devastating wasn't just the jokes. It was the cold, hard truth buried inside every punchline. Carvey didn't invent a caricature. He simply turned up the volume on the ridiculousness that was already there. And that's what really hurt. It was like holding up a funhouse mirror only for Trump to realize it wasn't distorted at all. This is exactly how people see him. And if there's one thing Trump can't handle, it's knowing the joke isn't something he controls, it's something being played on him. Here's the real twist. Carvey didn't just roast Trump in front of millions, he delivered a reminder to the entire country that satire still hits hard. In a world overflowing with indictments, investigations, and non-stop political madness, sometimes the sharpest truth comes wrapped in laughter. All it took was one man, one mic, and one brutally accurate impression to rip the facade wide open. Trump's ego got served up medium rare with an extra helping of public humiliation. Donald Trump didn't just have a bad day, he had a total meltdown, the kind that makes Chernobyl seem like a cozy campfire.
I just wanted to observe a few funny things because I'm watching New Trump.
New Trump.
New Trump. When he says talk, he makes a very specific mouth. They've never seen it before. They've never seen anything like it. They never have. It's never happened before, quite frankly. All they do is talk. All they do is talk. Talk. They just talk. They just talk. Talk. They talk. This is the only time he makes this specific lips like this. All talk. Then he goes back normal. I don't know what they're doing, but all they do is talk. They talk.
It's kind of when he went, China.
All they do is talk. They're all talk.
All they do is talk.
All talk.
Everything they do is talk.
All they do.
Dana Carvey, yes, that Dana Carvey, the Saturday Night Live legend and human Swiss Army knife of celebrity impressions, managed to blow up Trump's ego in record time. No subpoena, no indictment, just a few minutes of savage mimicry, and boom, the spray tan went full meltdown mode. You'd think Trump, a man who spent more hours in front of cameras than a Kardashian on an energy drink spree, would have grown some kind of emotional armor. But nope, the thinnest-skinned billionaire this side of a soap bubble took one comedic jab and spiraled straight into DFCO and orange. Mar-a-Lago staff reportedly had to stash the ketchup bottles again. It all started pretty harmlessly, Carvey just doing what he does best, nailing public figures with deadly accuracy and surgical-level satire. But this wasn't just a goofy impression. Carvey went full scorched earth, turning Trump into a bizarre hybrid of a cartoon villain, a disappointed dad, a shady car salesman, and a game show host, all crammed into one spray-tanned body. It was like watching your childhood birthday clown finally snap and start revealing the circus for what it really is, a glitter-drenched chaos parade powered by ego Diet Coke and sheer delusion.
Frankly, let me tell you, you're going to be seeing a lot of it. That I can tell you. I mean, when you look at it and it didn't work out so great for so many of these people, and you're seeing it all over the place. Many people are saying, we're not those people. We don't do that, okay? So you look at what they're doing, you look at all of it, and people are very disappointed, like you wouldn't believe, because it's a terrible deal, really a bad deal. And we're going to be doing something very soon, and you're going to be happy. You're going to be seeing a lot of it. You're going to be happy like you wouldn't believe.
The impression wasn't just funny, it was brutal, because underneath the laughter, you could feel it. Carvey wasn't just mimicking Trump's voice, he was mocking the entire absurd performance, the fake bravado, the constant grandstanding, the made-up words, the unshakable confidence of a man who can't spell honor without autocorrect, and even then still messes it up. And Trump, oh, he definitely heard it. Maybe not in real time, since his staff likely filters anything above a second-grade reading level. But once that clip started spreading faster than his legal headaches, you could almost hear the steam coming out of his ears. The man who once tried to buy Greenland couldn't handle a few minutes of sharp-witted satire, which, let's be honest, is probably the most intelligent attack he's faced all year. Sources close to Trump, or more accurately people desperately trying to keep their jobs, say he didn't take it well. Allegedly, he made comments about Carvey being washed up and irrelevant, which is rich coming from someone who once held a press conference next to a landscaping company. Trump's idea of a comeback is usually shouting wrong like a malfunctioning Siri, so you can imagine just how sophisticated the response was.
Feel like you're going crazy with all the voices in your head?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm coming on to him. I mean, I'm still having fun with Trump. I did love the jokes. I mean, Trump teasing what he's going to do, and he's not making the announcement, is so funny to me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'm going to be saying something very soon. We're going to say it, and we're going to do it, and we want to do it, and we're going to say things like you wouldn't believe. And many people say they don't want to see it. They don't like that, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it.
He has full arguments with himself.
I know. I love the
But here's the kicker: Trump has a long history of flipping out when comedians go after him. Alec Baldwin, Seth Meyers, Stephen Colbert, heck, even the kid from that TikTok video who mocked Trump's awkward dance moves probably got hit with a cease and desist. It's a predictable pattern. If you make a joke about Trump and it gets laughs, brace yourself for a full-on toddler tantrum of the century. And Carvey didn't even go for the jugular. He didn't bring up the 4 indictments, the hush money, or the classified documents that somehow ended up next to golf trophies. No, all he did was mimic the tone, the cadence, and the cartoonish self-importance that has somehow become the signature of a former president. But here's what makes this whole thing even juicier: Dana Carvey is no political hack. He's not some partisan warrior. He's a comedian whose entire brand revolves around poking fun at everyone. So the fact that Trump lost his mind over one tiny impression says a lot more about Trump than it does about Carvey.
Trump's there, he's got the tie, and then Elon is up there talking, right? And I don't really do it yet, but I'm working on it. We got to go to malls. We're going to malls. And, because we can't sustain life on planet Earth. We got to go to malls. This is going to be really cool. Okay? And then they say, President Trump. And Trump goes, what he said. What he said. He's a smart cookie. He's a tough cookie. He's a cookie monster. This is what he's smart. Everybody talks about it. He's like, oh, shit so hard. Excuse me.
At the end of the day, what really sent Trump over the edge wasn't just the impression, it was the sheer accuracy. It hit too close to home. It was a caricature so perfectly on point, so reflective of Trump's real-life absurdities that it felt like staring into a funhouse mirror, only this one didn't distort reality, it amplified it. It exaggerated the nonsense, and for Trump, that's the ultimate insult. And let's not forget, this is a man who still insists he won an election he lost, thinks windmills cause cancer, and once suggested people inject bleach to fight viruses. A man who genuinely believes he's the most persecuted person on earth, despite owning more properties than Monopoly. Meanwhile, the American public got exactly what they needed, a reminder that satire is still alive and well and remains the sharpest way to make sense of a reality show presidency gone rogue. Because let's face it, after years of political madness, indictment scandals, and enough lies to fill a presidential library made entirely of fiction, we need Dana Carvey more than ever.
I'm going to go out on a limb and just say these are wild times. And Trump, I'm announcing right now, it just happened in the last 6 hours. I divorced Melania, and now I'm completely legally married to Miss Stormy Daniels, Stormy Trump, Mrs. Stormy Trump, and she can't testify against her husband, so the whole case is thrown out because of Mrs. Stormy Trump. I did it.
We need that sharp comedic scalpel that cuts through the noise and exposes the soft absurdity beneath. We need impressions so sharp they make truth social trend for all the wrong reasons. We need someone brave enough to ask, what if the emperor is really just a guy with bad hair and even worse ideas? And Dana Carvey delivered. He didn't do it with venom, he did it with wit. He didn't need to yell insult or rant. He simply held up a comedic mirror and let Trump's reflection speak for itself. Because when someone like Trump sees himself through the eyes of a master impersonator, it's not just funny, it's absolutely devastating. So yes, Donald Trump lost it because just a joke was enough to shake the foundations of his gold-plated fantasy world. And somewhere Dana Carvey is probably laughing, knowing he didn't just do an impression. He launched a comedic missile straight into the heart of an ego desperate for deflation. And the best part, he didn't even break a sweat.
So fast, he just went, you know, Jeb, you're a low-energy individual, okay? You're very tired. You're very tired. You're very, very tired. You're tired. And I looked at Jeb Bush and I thought, my God, he's right!
Cue the next meltdown, cue the next truth social rant written in all caps and sprinkled with conspiracy fairy dust. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, it won't be the last time Trump gets roasted, but it might just be the best one yet. Dana Carvey torched Trump so brutally, the Secret Service probably debated calling the fire department. Trump went full meltdown mode, allegedly yelled at a TV, threatened to ban impressions, and demanded someone figure out who this Dana woman is. Classic. But now it's your turn. What's your all-time favorite Carvey impression? Is it this savage roast, or does his George Bush impression still take the crown? And seriously, does Trump even understand how jokes work, or does he think satire is just another deep state plot?